What is up, Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. And on today's episode, I'll be talking about a common fad trend that people will try in the new year that doesn't work and why it doesn't work. But before we dig in, just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've been listening to the show for a while and it's been resonating with you, if you could share the show with a friend, rate the show, subscribe. It just helps me get in front of more people, which helps me help more people. So thank you. And welcome. I'm glad you're listening. Welcome back. And welcome to 2026. All the other episodes I recorded before the holidays. So I probably haven't recorded an episode in about 2 weeks-ish or so. So I'm eager to get back on the mic and excited to be back here speaking to however many people listen. I think I have like 35 subscribers or something. So thank you. That's super awesome. So shout out to the 35 of you listening. And then, yeah, it was a nice holiday. I will say, as an adult, this is like the first time I've like hosted things. The holidays are a lot less relaxing, is what I'll say. But like still good. Like we got to spend a lot of time with family and friends, but I'm pretty burned out. And this past week I was super burnt out. And I'm just really feeling it. So I took yesterday off completely. I didn't do anything productive. I puzzled like half of the day, like a puzzle, like a physical puzzle, and feeling a lot better, but excited for 2026 and what is to come. 2025 was a whirlwind for me. We had a lot of family health problems. My husband, father-in-law, family member passed away, and a lot of highs, like left my 9 to 5 to coach full time. We got a home, which is awesome. Well, technically we have a mortgage on a home. So we kind of own it, kind of. The bank owns it. And I don't know, a lot of cool stuff happened. A lot of struggles, hurdles happened. Got my first coach. Got probably the leanest I've been ever, like with like a solid amount of muscle. But having hormone issues again, both resolved, gut health issues. So yeah. And the hormone things are just stress. It's just stress. I think hindsight. So if you tell me to do something and to do the thing that I know might not be helpful for my health, like if you tell me to work out a lot, I'm going to work out a lot. And so hindsight, some of my coaches' implementations of things were too stressful for my body. And I kind of knew that. And I did kind of mention it, but he's like, oh, it'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking it's probably not going to be, but I'm going to do it anyway because I like to exercise. And here we are. And then life got really stressful with my business. I'm working part-time for another coaching company. And that whole onboarding process was very stressful. But and just travel for me in general is stressful. So one of my big goals this New Year's is to not travel if I don't want to. If I don't want to go to something, I shouldn't go to make somebody else feel good. Because then I'm resentful the whole time anyway. Yeah, I might feel guilty if I don't go. Like we didn't travel for Christmas or Thanksgiving this year. And yeah, I felt kind of bad, but I was so glad that I didn't, because every time I do, it's very draining. And I've been, as I said, really drained. We've had a lot of travel this year. Anyway, I'm just rambling about my year. But I want to talk about this because I think that sometimes people put coaches on pedestals, but most of us coaches have problems. That's why we've become a coach. That's why most of us still have coaches. That's why most of us are in this industry. Most people in this industry have a disordered relationship, either with their bodies, with food, with exercise, with other things. Like we all have something, which is why we do what we do. So anyway, so 2025 was a whirlwind, and 2026, I'm not expecting it to slow down because what I've kept doing as an adult since I've been married, I'm like, I'm gonna have so much more time, coming up. It's gonna be a lot easier. I'm gonna be able to get that thing done. It's like, no, that's not the case. So something else that I'm doing this year, hopefully you guys are getting something good. This is not even the main topic. I'm on a tangent and I feel like it's valuable, so I'm gonna keep talking. But I'm going to really be more I'm gonna stop saying yes to too many things and stop adding things to my plate, because I'm the type of person, when I have empty time, I'm like, what else can I add? What else can I do? What other certification can I get? What other side thing can I do? Can I help out more at church? Can I, and it's like, then this is why I'm burned out right now. I'm doing too much. So my goal is to whittle down the amount of to-dos that I have to do so I can actually relax and have time to do hobbies, which is why another goal that I do. So, the first thing that I'm doing already, that I already implemented because I don't want to wait, is I already put out, there's one day on my week that is completely blocked out for back end business work. You might be thinking, why? Well, I have a lot of clients now. And with that, I don't have as much structure and I don't have as much time to improve the areas of my business that I want to improve the client experience. So I'm setting aside that whole day, no meetings, no work stuff except the stuff that I need to do and that I need to get done. So anyway, point being, take action. Even if it's not the ideal, I'd like to, there's Dan Sullivan, one of my clients actually mentioned this to me. She runs her own successful financial coaching business. It might be financial advising. I'm gonna have to double check. She's a new client, but she helps people with disabled children like budget and financial plan, um, or children with disabilities, so that they can budget to support their child for the duration of their child's lives, which is super awesome. She also got into the field because of her life situation, which is how I got into the field. Anyway, point being, she told me Dan Sullivan, 10x is easier than 2x writer, talks about like you should have 2 buffer days a week for back end part of your business and 3 client fulfillment days and then 2 free days. I'm not at the free days yet. But if I could start to have like 1, 2 buffer days, then I will have that will allow me to time block better and get things done better so that I'm not working on the weekend, which I'm doing right now on a Sunday. And that's okay, because this happens sometimes when you're trying to build a system and a structure. Point being, rewind. Time is valuable. So my goal is to prioritize my time better so I'm not burnt out. So I'm going to stop trying to add things to my plate right now. I'm trying to remove things from my plate so that I have more time, and that it will not be clients or coaching. It's going to be other little things that I'm doing that I don't need to do. Anyway, and so something else that I'm doing so that I have to allocate time for free time and to give myself space is I have an alumni game. So for those of you who don't know, I played water polo in college. I was a D1 athlete, and I was very good. Played against Olympians. I was a starter on my team for 2 years, and I played all 4 years pretty heavily. I was good. I worked really hard. I was not talented. I have what you call grit. So when I want to do something, I'm going to do it and put my head down. I might not do it the right way, but I might do too much to get there, but I'll put my head down and work. Anyway, so I was pretty good. I am not good anymore, but it's okay. I already knew that because I haven't swam in well over a year. And so a couple weeks ago, I started swimming. So that's my other like fun side quest, so to speak, is to get back into water polo shape. Um, I will not be like I used to be because I was practicing 4 hours a day. Um, so I'm realistic. I'm not going to be like I used to be, but I have a lot of muscle memory. I have more muscle than I did back then, so I will be stronger. Definitely slower in the pool, I've noticed. But anyway, so I'm doing that, and I think that's gonna help me better budget my time so that I have time to do this thing. And this thing has been really fun so far. Like today, this afternoon after church, I went and I swam and I started doing some water polo stuff. And damn, it's hard. I forgot because I was doing so much of it, it was like easy. Like my body was super adapted to it. I could tread water for hours. And I was treading water today, and I'm like, man, my shins and calves are tired from one lap. Like that is anyway. So that's another thing I'm doing, and I'm every probably quarter I'm gonna have a new goal, um, athletic pursuit, so that I take the time for myself. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm realigning my day structure so that the first 3 hours of my day are for myself. So I'm gonna get Bible reading done, walk done, breakfast, lift, um, maybe a little puzzle time when I'm sipping my espresso before I go to the gym, just so that I I've noticed the way I was doing it before is I would prioritize my client's stuff before my stuff, and then I get stressed about my stuff. And as I said, I'm having hormonal issues, so doing a lot of these things, I'm trying to do a lot of these things to hopefully reduce my stressors to help realign my hormones into a better spot because physiologically, I'm not doing that much. Like, I'm getting maybe 10,000 steps a day, training 4 days a week, low intensity, 2 to 3 reps in reserve, way less volume. Um, Cardio is swimming, and I'm eating quite a bit. So it's not anything crazy. And as I'm scaling the swimming and the water polo stuff that I'm doing on my own, which is kind of weird, I'm swimming in a gym pool that's like a 3-lane pool that's 4 feet deep. And I'm going to use that to train for water polo. As I progress, there's like water polo pickup in Salt Lake, which is like 45 minutes for me. So I will make it out to those. Probably not this month, maybe halfway through next month, as my speed hopefully is increasing and improving. Anyway, what was I talking about? Stressors. Oh, as I'm scaling my training, I will be increasing my carbohydrate intake to properly recover and fuel, which is the other cool thing is now I actually understand nutrition while I'm training for this athletic pursuit. So I'm wondering if it's going to skyrocket my results, my performance, because will be properly fueling my body. I'm not cutting carbs. I'm not trying to be the smallest on the scale. Which leads actually into the topic of today. So the topic for today, this is a big tangent. Hopefully you guys got something for that. But anyway, topic for today is cutting carbs. While it might yield quick results on scale, is not get you those fat loss results that you want. So stop doing it, especially women. And this is something that I did in college as a Division I athlete. My husband did not know better. But at the time, this was 2019, I think. 2018, 2019. 2018 is when we started dating. 2018, 2019. I was trying to lose weight always because I was tall, I was big, I was always insecure about my body, how it looked. And he was like, yeah, cutting carbs is great. That's what I do. I don't eat carbs. Not really 100% true, but anyway, so I'm like, oh, carbs are bad, sugar's really bad. So I cut out all processed food, which hindsight was actually probably good for my health, but anything with a carb I would not touch. really unhealthy. And I was doing that while playing Division One water polo. That means I was exercising like 4 hours a day. I also lived off campus, so I was walking to and from class, skateboarding to and from. I was moving the entire day. I was super active. I probably got close to 20,000 steps a day just by nature of school, maybe 15,000. I was walking at least 6, 7, 8 miles a day and training 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours a day, depending on if we had lift and in the pool practice. All practice was in the pool except for lifting. If we had lifting and normal training or whatever. And then, anyway, I was very active. So, you know what I shouldn't have cut out? Carbs. You know what I probably should have focused on? Adding in protein. Adding in protein and fueling my training with carbs. And another thing that I recommend to most athletes is if you're in season, actually all athletes in season, you should not be trying to cut weight. That's going to put a hinder on your performance, your recovery. No bueno. But anyway, I was always trying to lose weight. So I cut out carbs. And yes, the scale dropped quickly. Why? Well, one, a lot of the carbs I was eating weren't super healthy. So there's probably some inflammation there that drops. But two, your body, your muscle tissue, gets filled with glycogen, which comes from carbohydrates, and water. So if you cut out carbs, your muscle bellies deplete of glycogen and stop holding as much water. So when people cut carbs, they lose weight really quickly. Really, really quickly. But it plateaus really quickly too, because your body's just not holding as much water. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. Cutting carbs does not give you cell autophagy. Keto is not some magical fat loss remedy. It's not the thing everybody's missing. It's what really everybody's missing is 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, strength training 2 to 4 times a week, getting enough movement throughout the day, so 8 to 10,000 steps a day, eating enough protein and fiber, and cooking most of their meals at home, which would help with all of the obesity epidemic, so to speak. Like, a lot of us are overweight because the foods that we're eating are really tasty, which makes it a lot harder to control. And most of us are not very active day to day. The other thing I forgot is stress management. And stress management is a very generalized topic, but I've dug into these extensively in other podcast episodes. So you can just scroll through those and find the ones where I specifically talk about it. But anyway, carbs are not bad for you. Carbs are super important, especially for performance, so that's the funny thing. It's like, okay, you cut out carbs, but you're still not walking a lot. You're still not moving your body. You're not training. You're not trying to build muscle. What would help you more is fueling your body for performance in the gym, training so that you elicit a muscle building signal, resting and recovering so your body can build muscle, and then naturally your resting metabolic rate will rise because you have more muscle tissue, which is more metabolically active, which means it just burns more calories at rest. So instead of cutting out entire food groups, which will lead to something I've experienced extensively, which is binge and restrict, like, oh, I can't eat this food, so I'm going to go buck wild and eat all the foods. Right? Not eat all the foods, but when you get access to it, you're like, well, I'm not going to get access to this for another month, so I might as well eat all of it. Right? I've done this so many times. I'm speaking from personal experience, and a lot of my clients have as well. So stop telling yourself, one, you can't eat things. Stop cutting out entire food groups. That doesn't work for sustainability. Yes, on the forefront, you might lose weight quickly. It might help with some inflammation. It might help with your gut health, which I will dig into in a second. But low-carb keto, That's not going to get you sustainable fat loss results. It can help people who are insulin resistant, which means like you have some type of diabetes, um, type 1, type 2, help your body better manage insulin by just giving your body a break from inundating it with carbohydrates all the time. It'll reduce inflammation. There's like some benefits to ketogenic, but not for fat loss, not for sustainable fat loss or body composition change. And oftentimes, adding in the gut health, people with severe gut health issues, they can't eat carbs. And so what they do is they just cut out carbs. But every time they reintroduce the carbs, they get bloated, puffy, gassy, uncomfortable, stomach distension, maybe brain fog, fatigue, low energy. That's probably because you have some sort of gut dysbiosis, maybe candida. Super fun stuff. Just kidding. Not really. But cutting out carbs is not the answer to the problem. It'll, as I said before, the weight on the scale will drop. But you're not losing body fat. Your performance isn't improving. And we're not solving that root issue. That does affect your metabolism too. That's the other thing. It's like, okay, you cut out carbs, you feel a little bit better, less bloated, yada, yada, yada. You feel like you're losing body fat. You might be in a calorie deficit because you're probably not capable of eating as much as you would otherwise. But it's not the right way. Because I have a lot of clients that have come to me not for gut health things, but I'm like I just can't eat carbs. And I'm like, you probably have a gut health issue once we dig in. And I'm correct. I'm always correct with that stuff. Why? Because I've experienced all these things, literally everything I've experienced except for pregnancy and menopause, which is why I don't necessarily feel super comfortable coaching pregnant women pre or postpartum. I have coaches if you're interested though. Not me. Menopause, I'm pretty comfortable handling that, but I haven't been through it yet. I've had similar symptoms, so I can relate to my clients with the loss of the menstrual cycle and heat flashes and other things, with my hormones going all over the place. Anyway, their issue is their gut health. Until we resolve the gut health issue, their body composition is not going to improve that much. And as I was saying, they'll cut out all carbs. But then when they get access to carbs, they go to a party, they go to an event, they have dinner with friends, maybe a date night, whatever, and they have dessert, and they feel so terrible. Why? Because we haven't addressed that root cause issue yet, right? So usually takes a couple times for them to believe me. But well, I will say gut testing is very expensive too, so that's part of the problem as well. But yes. Point being, carbs aren't the problem. Carbs are also super important for performance, energy levels, hormone profile for women, sleep quality, just all the things. And they're so great. Why would you not want to eat potatoes or rice or bread or fruit? That's so crazy. I know people who won't eat carrots because they have sugar in them. That's so silly. God made carrots. Carrots grow from the ground, but they'll eat some keto cookie. I'm like, how does that make any sense? Anyway, and negative repercussions from low carb or keto diets. Usually people, well, I'm a gut health lady, so I'm tying it back to gut health again. But if you're not eating enough fiber, one, that can slow motility, which is the process of going to the bathroom. But two, it can reduce your microbiome diversity, which can cause a lot of other issues. But the slow motility tends to lead to stuff like SIBO, constipation. SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's when things aren't moving super quickly through the small intestine that they kind of start to ferment, and that can cause people who have SIBO tend to have trouble eating a lot of carbs. They tend to have bloating, gas, discomfort, those sort of things. Anyway, so carbs are awesome. Fiber is awesome. Don't cut carbs. If you want to actually lose body fat like the right way and sustainably, as I said, step 1, focus on protein intake. Get like about 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So let's say you're like 200 pounds and you want to be 150. Shoot for 150 grams of protein a day. That's it. So shoot for that. Start strength training twice a week if you're not already. Start walking if you're not already. Do that for a couple months and you will notice a difference. One of my clients, the client with the gut health issues that we're finally now addressing, she started training consistently, reduced cardio, we increased her protein intake, and despite the fact that she has gut health issues, she has body recomp. Like you can see in the pictures, side by side, she's leaner, she's leaned out, she's lost inches, she looks more muscular, she's gotten stronger, despite the gut health issues. So imagine when she fixes those, how much stronger and more leaned out she's going to look. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, don't cut out carbs. Do those things instead and reduce your processed food intake. That's always great. If you're eating like a lot of protein bars, high protein snacks, chips, cookies, things that come in a package, try to either mimic them and cook them from scratch at home, or just switch to more protein, animal sources of protein, sweet potatoes, oats. I make these like chocolate oatmeal every day and it's delicious and it tastes like a brownie. It's got cocoa powder, oats, and a little stevia and salt, and that's it. Tastes delicious, 200 calories, cocoa, oat. So like you can make stuff at home that tastes really awesome. And processed food, as I said, they hijack your palate. So if you focus on eating primarily whole foods, high protein diet, training, walking, you're going to start to see a lot of changes. So anyway, there's a lot of rambling today. Hopefully you got something from this, but really the message I want to dial in is do not cut carbs to try to lose body fat. It is not sustainable. It's going to create an unhealthy relationship to food, which I didn't even really touch on. It's going to hinder your ability to build muscle. It's going to just suck. Like, to be frank, I've been there. I've done that. I was so like rigid with my food that the other parts of my life were not enjoyable. I was tired all the time, stressed all the time, stressed about what I was going to eat, where I was going to eat. If I was invited somewhere, stressed about what they were going to provide. Like, there was all this overhead for nothing. I needed the carbs. I would have been a better athlete. Had I had the carbs, I would have probably leaned out more quickly had I been chasing performance instead of a stupid number on the scale. So anyway, don't cut carbs. Fuel your body. Get strong. And watch the results come. But anyway, if you'd like to get a metabolic assessment and see exactly what area you need to focus on to start to improve your body composition, get more energy, get better sustainable fat loss results, I have a metabolic quiz that's completely free. The link will be below. You can just take a look at that. And if you want, there's a metabolic quiz analysis that is just, we'll hop on a 30-minute call and I'll go through your results and we'll just kind of chat through what your next steps should be. So anyway, thank you for listening today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.